Hi, everyone. I'm Gail Williams. I'm a TV talk show host, and I am here today with superstar country music singer-songwriters Carl Ray and the renowned Jacky Jack White.
Thank you.
He is renowned.
Oh, yes, he is.
All over.
Very
America,
well known.
around
Very
the world.
well known.
Jack, how many number one songs have you had?
Number one. She had a number one gospel song and had a number one country song in England.
Oh man.
I'm
still trying to get number one.
That's right.
That's why I'm sitting by number one.
Just treat me as you would any other great man.
You got some back.
Well, yeah.
Oh man.
Well, listen, country music is all about the story, right? I mean, it's always about the story, and you guys obviously have a story, and that's what we want to know about. How did you guys get together? How did you meet? You want to tell us all about that?
Well, Wood Newton called me up one day and said, I'm doing an album with this country music star. He happens to be black. And I thought, well, that's about as rare as organ grinder repair. You know what I'm saying? So, well,
yes,
and said he said, of course he told me this, said, we've already recorded your song. It's called One More Sunset. And
it was a great song.
Well, I liked that song a great deal. And I co-wrote that song with David Slater. That's right.
David
Slater. So we'd written some hits and stuff. And so anyway, I was anxious to hear what that was going to sound like, you know. And I'm not just saying it because we're on video, but
because I paid you.
Well, I ain't even got the paper in my hand yet. I got to have the paper in my hand.
It's in the mail.
But wow, I mean, he did a marvelous job. And then the other part of it was that I booked him for my show, the Second Night Review, which I still do. Did you do it first in Livingston?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think he did it first at University of West Alabama, at that stage that we used. And did a great job. One thing I got to tell you, though, is that at that time, he wasn't as confident on his guitar. So I remember we had to do a lot of guitar stuff.
Yeah, we did.
And now he's a real fine rhythm guitar player, which, I mean, I think that's fantastic. That doesn't happen every day. But here's the part I was going to tell you, is my kids and their mama fell in love with Carl Ray.
And I fell in love with them.
And yeah. And, I mean, then they wanted to his posters on the walls, which they kept up in their rooms for years. And they just loved Carl, and we just had such a good time. So he came down again. I think that time we did in Meridian at the Temple Theater, and all my regulars, everybody just crazy about him. But that was the selling point for me, that my kiddos just thought so much of him, you know. And he loved my kids, and now they're just 15 and 17 years old, but they still, I told them tonight on the way over, I said, well, I'm going to be with Carl Ray tonight. He said, Carl Ray? So, I mean, he's like Mick Jagger or somebody.
Cool. They're great kids.
Well, they're good. They're nice.
They're great kids.
Yeah. But what was your feelings about coming down and doing the whole thing?
Yeah, I was just excited about it. Once we cut the record, One More Sunset was one of my favorite because I wanted a cowboy song, right? And that one also was a song that talked about hope as well. One More Sunset.
Oh yeah.
Right? And that's what we all want. I mean, I want one more sunset for our country.
Right. Oh man.
Right? I want one more sunset for my son and my daughter and my friends, and for Henry and your family, and for you, and so.
One more sunset to ride off.
Right.
One
more horse no man could tame.
That's right.
One more gunfight with an outlaw. One more river to be named. There's still gold up out in the mountains, and I'm going to stake my claim. I want a sunset to ride off in. For the Wild West.
Can we get that on? Do you see that?
That's good.
Do you see Goosebumps?
It was a good song.
Do you see Goosebumps?
It was a good song.
Man, because he loves it. He feels it.
And
that's the secret to the song. That's the secret to the song. I mean, you gotta live it. You gotta feel it. And Carl does that. And so tell them, I've been gabbing. Tell them about this song that we're here to talk about. I mean, how that started.
Yeah. So I stand with this country, right?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, thank you so much for helping we did this together, man. You know,
but you started it.
Yeah, I know I started, but
Kind of like a fist fight in junior high. He started
I started the fist fight, and he came in and helped me,
finished it.
and we needed some help. But this song really started with all of the stuff that's going on in our country, right?
Right.
And there's a lot of stuff, and regardless,
And you were upset.
I was upset.
I was upset.
Yeah.
Not necessarily upset over the same things.
Yeah.
And I love him. He's my brother in Jesus, my brother in music. And he's upset. And he's sent me these lyrics over there that, I mean, you didn't even need a Zippo lighter. I mean, they burn your house down. And I'm thinking, I'm not upset about this. I mean, like he's upset on different things. And so anyway, we started talking about it. But, and I mean, we're not auditioning for PTL on this one.
Right.
But we prayed about it.
Yeah.
We prayed together about it and talked about it and all of a sudden, man, he comes back and he's singing this thing and I mean, and he told me, not that he's sissy or anything, but he told me he cried after he sang that song, and I cried. I mean, that was powerful stuff. I mean, you don't run into that every day.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm not a guy who writes them cookie cutter songs. I don't like cookie cutter songs. I don't like formula songs. I want to write something from my heart, you know. I may be like my daddy lived to be 96 years old, or my mama 99 years old, playing rook right now. But I might not make it the next Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? And so I want to make sure that whatever I'm doing, hey, means something.
Yeah, man. And so when we started writing that song, I started writing, and like Jack said, the lyrics, you know, it was all over the place, and it was really, I was purging at that point. I was really trying to share all this stuff, and so I said, you know, I'm not going to be able to do this by myself.
Right.
And I said, well, okay, well, who can I get to join me on this? Who has the right heart? Who's a great songwriter? Who do I trust? Who do I even like? Right. Yeah. And I just picked up the phone and I said, this is the guy. And
what an honor.
And you know, here we're from different places. You know, our experiences are different. You know, just like people out here in America, their experiences are different. But and we don't believe the same thing always. We don't, you know, we see the picture sometimes different colors, but we
agree to disagree.
We agree to disagree,
and we're nice about it.
And we're nice about it.
And we ain't phony about it.
No. And so when I started with this song and this journey, and we started praying about it, we actually said this is going to be a prayer, our prayer for our country, you know. And so we started writing this song, and then we put together the video, and from there things just went crazy.
Well, you put together that video.
Yeah,
you did a tremendous job.
People went crazy.
They did go
and
crazy.
Not everybody liked the video.
Yeah.
And here's what was so good about it. Because before he ever even put it out, we said, we're going to let the song speak for itself. We're going to let the video speak for itself.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to get an argument with anybody. We had some, 4 or 5 maybe comments that usually I would say, I'm going to take you out there in the parking lot, man. But why do that?
Right, but that's what we're talking about.
Why do that?
Because they're different. You can disagree, and what we said is that the song will what?
Speak for itself.
It'll stand for itself.
But what is the message of the song? What is the message you're trying to get across?
That's a good. Jack, you want to share that?
No, I've been giving too much. You go ahead.
Well, at the end of the day, everybody in this country, we're all Americans.
Amen.
And I'm not going anywhere soon. I mean, what I mean by that, I know it's up to my maker up there, but I'm not trying to go back somewhere or move to another country. This is the greatest country in the world, full stop. And so for anybody that lives here and believes that, they've got to know that in spite of all of our differences, all our stuff, you can put all that stuff in a pot, right? We're still the greatest country in the world. Now, the question is, how do we make it really better? How do we become better people? And the song doesn't speak to politics. It doesn't speak to race. It doesn't speak to anything. It speaks to the heart of man. And again, this is not TBN or some show, but the Bible says your heart has to be changed. And if your heart is not changed, or if it is changed, then what comes out of that are things that are good, right? So this is a song about the heart of men. And we have a battle right now going on for our souls and our hearts.
Yes.
And so we've got to choose, regardless to whether you like this group, that group, this color, that color, whatever the differences are. We don't have to hate. Right?
That's right.
So
That's right.
it's about love,
love.
it's about peace, it's about reconciliation, and it's about a hope for our future. Because the fact of the matter is, we're all not going to be here another 40 years, but we're leaving this country to our children's children. And the Bible says,
babies.
the Bible says a wise man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And that's what I want to do. That's what Jack wants to do. So we hope that people, when they see this song, they won't pick parts out and start saying, oh, I don't like this person, I don't like that. Because if you do, I always say that's a good time to check yourself, because this song was probably written just for you.
Well, Galatians 6 talks about that, doesn't it? If you think you're something,
Come on, brother.
you know.
Now, we're not
Right.
preaching, we're just saying.
But it's the truth.
It's, actually,
The
it
truth is
says,
a light.
Paul writes there. He said, you better watch yourself.
Right.
Yeah. Look at your own self.
Yeah.
And then that's what we do. That's what we do. That's what it comes down to, because it's just going to come down to people that are individuals. Muddy Waters said there's two kinds of music. Do you remember what he said? He says good and bad.
Good and bad only, right?
That's
good
right.
and bad.
Good and bad. And unfortunately, and this is just life, it's reality, and people are good and bad.
Absolutely.
And I think there's a lot more good people in this country who love this country than there are people who hate it and despise it. And I stand with this country.
Yeah. So out of 150 views on Facebook, I probably had 5 people who kind of expressed negative things. Right?
150,000.
150,000.
He said 150.
Yeah, 150,000.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Out of 150,000. Let's get that number right.
Let's
get that number right now. 150,000.
Did you release this in Loretta, Tennessee? That was it. It's only been out a few days. 100.
Yeah, but we've only had a few, and that's okay. They're entitled to their opinion. But I just sent a comment back to them and say we love them. We stand with this song. The song speaks for itself. So we don't debate. We're not getting into it. It's real easy. It's easy, right?
Right.
But that's a good question. Yeah. So
I got another one.
All right.
I've heard the saying, a song has a life of its own.
Oh.
So tell us what that means, and then how does that apply to this song?
Jack, you go ahead and take that one.
Because it sure has a life of its own, it seems, this song.
I don't know how many songs I've written, but one of my best friends of all time was Cindy Walker, and she had 450 something songs that charted. There's no telling how many thousand songs she wrote. I was up there in that room with the green filing cabinets, and I don't know how many songs were in there, but I've always thought that a song, and of course God gives us those things, we get out of the way. If we get out of the way, we write our very best song.
Yeah, amen.
And so that song is just like a little bitty old sparrow. And I hate to see Henry and Mary McIntyre and all of them leave my nest, like I know you've seen that. It bothers me. But there they go. There they go. And do you know that I think that song has these little wings, and God looks over that song just like he does the little sparrow.
Amen.
And you don't
That's
see.
good.
We'll never be able to shake the hands or eyeball to eyeball or sit down and eat a meal with these folks. There's all these people, but you know that they were moved or they were touched.
Absolutely.
And I can tell you about the money you make off these songs. I don't care how much you make. You will spend that money.
Yeah.
So the money goes.
The money flies.
And it's
too.
not exactly like maybe God's overlooking that. There's that dollar bill and that $100 bill, $1,000 bill, they fly on. But that's what I'm saying. It's so much more than just about the music. It's just that people, their hearts and their minds, and sometimes their lives are changed. And I know there's songs that I heard that moved me in the right direction.
Me too.
And sure, we all do, don't we?
Absolutely.
Because I mean, I preach a lot of sermons, and you can hear a lot of sermons, but you forget those pretty quick. But there's something about a song that gets within us. God's a singer. God loves singing. I mean, read through the Bible. He loves singing. The mornings when the world was created, the morning stars sang together.
How beautiful is that, right?
I mean, it's awesome. I mean, there's a lot of singing.
There's going to be a lot of singing when we sing.
And you know what? And I know that God likes my singing voice, and He even liked Tex Retter's singing voice. And I know He likes Carl Ray's singing voice.
Well, I know He loves us all, man. So yeah, those songs, and
I'm glad I
if you think about those songs, they go on forever, and we have tons of memories. And so we hope that this song is one of those songs that God will bless, and it will have wings to fly in the hearts of men. And it's already touching people. We got emails and text messages saying, hey, I hit my knees this morning. I forgave such and such.
Oh man,
this made me cry.
Right.
And so all of those things, that's what you want in a song, right? And I'm hoping that, lives will be changed, relationships will be restored, our country can heal. And in spite of who's in office, who's elected, that we will learn to pray for every man, every woman, and that we won't hate. Right? We can have differences that we won't hate. So let's live without the hate.
Yeah.
Now, Carl, you're African American.
Am I?
And
I didn't know that.
And you sing country.
Yeah, I did.
That's a novelty.
Yeah, it is. But
how did you pick country music?
Yeah, well, I think country music picked me.
Because you sang all kinds of music.
Yeah, I sang all kinds of music. I started out, as you know, with Johnny Nash, and he was most notable with I Can See Clearly Now, The Rain Is Gone, and Steer It Up, Little Darling, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So Johnny allowed me to work in his studio, and he helped me learn to write and taught me the publishing business and recorded some of my songs, several of them. And so I became a writer with John, but he had horses and cows, and so I loved to go out there and ride horses, and I'd go out to his farm, and we'd hang out, and I just loved it.
See, we got that in common. We love these horses,
Right.
riding them.
Right.
So he said, hey man, the songs you're writing, they have this country feel. And so I started cultivating that and started going to Nashville, and quickly learned that I wasn't as good as I thought, because there was some great writers. Country music is about 3 chords and the truth. And I didn't have the truth or 3 chords, so I had to work to get there. And
but you got there.
Yeah, I met a lot of great writers. And then I, and really ended up working with Jack, and we've written a lot of songs lately. A lot of great songs.
Right.
And on his record label, Suchinaki Records, this is kind of the first record in a while, right? I Stand With Your Country.
Oh yeah. I mean, I just had that as just something, if I wanted to pop a single on some young person that's just starting out or whatever, and then of course we had that series of Second Night's Review things, and
So
okay, and so then I don't know, the music business has changed so much, and
we're learning a lot.
And I'm also remember when Johnny Miller won that golf tournament when he was 46 years old. He had grandchildren, and he said, I just was so glad I won this tournament, because my kids, they didn't know me when I was winning 23 tournaments on the PGA Tour and the U.S. Open, British Open, and said they didn't think I could play golf. And so, one thing I thought about popping out a single or two, forgive me, Lord, I just wanted to prove to those kids of mine that I know what I'm doing and I can get it done. With the good Lord's help.
That's honest, right?
Yeah, and I just, let's pop them. But it's really fantastic. I mean, I certainly don't regret doing what we've done. I love it.
No, I love it
I'm
too.
glad he agreed to letting us do that on Second Night Records.
I'm
really, really happy about that, because it's a good label. Can I mention where we are here?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Don Mosley, who is allowing us to film this for only $23,000 an hour.
We should show him, right? Okay, he's modest. He don't want to come over.
What's the name? What's the name of the studio?
Sound of Birmingham.
Sound of Birmingham. Been here 40 years, and I love this place.
And he's got a great smile. Yeah,
He's a great guy. Was a great rock and roll singer, and still is, but doesn't do that much because he's busy making other people start. But Steve Pennington got me with Don. Steve's with us tonight.
Yeah.
What's the name of the poodle dog?
Bentley.
And Bentley the poodle dog.
Steve Pennington has done more for young people in this area. It's called Nashville Bound, and helping these young people get out there and enjoy music. And some of them have made pretty good careers, like Anna Grace Tamarillo, who's got out waiting at the waterfall right now.
Oh, awesome.
So,
awesome.
I mean, he worked with Anna Grace.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Of course, we worked with her and her mama up in Bob Angelo's studio.
Yeah, up in
That's how I get. That's how I get my 23,000 back.
Yeah.
By mentioning Bob Angelo.
Okay, well, but when you talk about African Americans in the industry, when I started coming to Nashville, the CMA festival was called Fanfare at the time.
Right.
It changed later.
Right.
And there were 3 sisters that the CMA festival, they don't talk about those sisters who started the Fan Fest, Luella and her sister, her other 2 sisters, but they were the brainchilds of the CMA
Fanfare.
festival.
Okay.
Wow.
And so when I started going there, it was with those 3 sisters, and they would take me around and introduce me, and I started meeting a lot of people, and met other African Americans singing, and we, the industry has changed a little bit. So now you've got. Of course, you always had Charlie Pride, who's great. As a matter of fact, Jack wrote a great song for him. Which song was that, Jack?
It's called For Today. It went #1 on the independent
Wow.
charts in England.
Yeah, so it was a
Wow.
great song. And so Charlie, then there's
Great person.
Darius Rucker, there's Kane Brown, there's Carl Ray, there's Reese Palmer, there's Mickey Guyton. And now the
Right.
industry has opened up.
And go back to O.C. Smith.
O.C.
That's
Smith.
one of my favorites.
Right.
I loved O.C. Smith, a tremendous. But I got to tell you, talking about the country. When I listened to Muddy Waters, especially his early stuff, and a lot of the blues players, I mean, they all had this country licks going on.
Yeah,
Of course, we steal from them because when I was playing the Bluebird with your buddy Wood Newton, I'm right really out on the middle of a song, and nobody's saying anything. Nobody.
It's
nobody.
Holy Grail,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, nobody wants to say anything. And he stops me right in the middle of the song. I thought I messed up or something. He goes, "Do all you guys from Mississippi?" Because I was born in Columbia, He said, "Do all you guys from Mississippi bend the chords like that? Do you have to bend the chords on all those songs?" Well, where did I get that?
Yeah.
Listening to blues records.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing. When I did the Stella Awards, I was on the Stella Awards one time.
Oh, wow.
I was a token white person. I really was.
I know how you feel.
I was token.
I know how you
Hey,
feel.
I'm up there, and look, you got the mighty clouds of joy, and Shirley Caesar, and CC, and all that. And I'm sitting there going, and man, I could hardly get the notes out. I'm like, but they'd come up to me at the little parties that we'd have, and behind the stage, and they'd look this way, and they said, "I like country music." I said, "Well, great."
Yeah,
And then I looked this way and this way. I said, "I like black gospel, rhythm and blues," But they really, that happened.
Yeah,
That happened.
No, I believe you. I believe you.
Well,
Yeah.
it's so, the stories. You got to have those stories.
Mm-hmm.
And then think about.
That's what it's about.
Think about what, Clarence Carter's singing about patches.
Patches are depending on the
Oh
sun
man, and
to pull
oh
from the
man, and then that's country.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
country
Yeah, right.
because you can see them out there in the country about to star.
Don't get me started. Don't get a
I know
don't
it.
get a
I
But I just
songwriter.
love it.
Don't get a songwriter started.
I just
now,
love it,
'cause
love
we'll
it,
be telling
love it,
stories all night.
Yeah.
I know it.
Oh, you got
know
some
it.
more questions?
Well,
because I don't
how
want.
can people listen to the music? How
Well, they can buy it anywhere online.
Yeah, tell us
It's
how they
released
can
through
get it.
TuneCore, and TuneCore distributes through Apple iTunes, through Amazon, Spotify. You just go on and start searching "I Stand With This Country" anywhere online,
Okay.
and you can get it.
Yeah, and if
Yeah.
you see that video on YouTube, like it.
Like it.
Yes.
Boom, like it,
Yes.
because that helps us.
And share it with your friends. We need you guys to share this video with your friends, with your churches, with your
Yes.
enemies, especially with your enemies, right? You ought to give them something that they
It's a love
need to
message.
have, because it's
That's right.
all about love in the heart.
Well, it really was, seriously now.
Seriously,
We wrote it as a prayer. And
Yes.
I haven't written many songs like that. I mean, probably of all the songs I've written, I don't have any idea how many I've written over years. But, 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
When Men Pray, that's a gospel
that's a good
song. It wasn't number 1. But that was really a prayer.
Mm.
And somewhat idealistic,
Yeah.
you know.
It's aspirational.
Wouldn't it be great if...
It's aspirational.
That's right. Wouldn't it be great if all the men prayed? Mark Lowry called up a publicist I had at the time, said, I can't sing this song. I said, why is that? Dead serious. Said, I can't sing this song. He says, it's never going to be a time when all the men are going to pray. And the publicist says, I don't know if she used that word aspirational because neither one of us had a dictionary.
Yeah.
But that's a great word.
It's-
that describes it.
right.
It's aspiring to.
Right. You have to.
Aspire to.
Yeah.
So she said, well, what he's talking about is, wouldn't it be great if people did that? And Dale Cal, by the way, who is a black writer, gave me the idea. He gets half credit because he had much of the chorus.
Awesome.
And it was a great song. I mean, and he caught me at the Stella Awards. He said, are you still... Because I went out in the crowd. I wanted to hear it out in the crowd with the big speakers. And I got a tap on his shoulder. I'd already performed. And he said, we're on television. I walk out in the crowd like, I just got off a turnip truck. And I said, yeah. He says, hey, you still writing? I said, yeah. He said, well, I got an idea, And he handed me that thing. I went up to my hotel room, wrote it in about 22 minutes and came back for the party.
Oh,
Wow.
That's God right there.
That's awesome,
Wow.
right?
That's God. Because, I mean, that's 22 minutes, went down there and got to say hello,
Hey.
Well, we had, writing this song, what I loved about it is that, I'd have thoughts about this song and I'd text, Jack, are you up? 12:30.
Well, he still does that, though.
Yeah.
I know.
Are you
I
up?
know.
You up? You busy?
You busy? Hey, what do you think about this?
I hope you don't mind
And-
that, because
and
I got to
then-
tell you, I love it.
And then he say, you got a minute? I'm gonna get my guitar. So we're writing.
Sound pretty good, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
sound pretty good. But this song is out there, Gail.
Yes.
And for any program director with any radio stations around the country, around the world, you'll be able to download this in about another couple of days
Awesome.
via MPE. And that's a site where all the record labels distribute
Okay.
music out to the record companies across the nation, around the world.
Okay.
So that's coming on that. And so we'd love for you guys to play this record
Yes.
and to like this video.
Yes.
Right?
This has been great.
Yes.
This has
you.
been
It's
awesome.
been a-
Do you all have any final special words to the viewers that you want to just end with?
I'll say something, Jack, and then you close us out. For all my friends and family down in Texas and Houston, Texas Southern University, 3rd Ward, you know what I'm talking about, South Park, all you trail riders, bull riders, cowboys, all you guys who go to the Houston Livestock Show Rodeo, you guys need to go out and buy this record. And you need to share this video, and you need to also listen to it, more importantly. And own this song, because that song not only was a song we wrote, but now personally I have to live that way. So it's not just a song that you write for the world, but I would be a hypocrite if I didn't live that way. So my commitment is to love this song and to love it and love people the way I'm saying we gotta love in this song. So that's the message I want to leave, and all my family and friends in Georgia, around the country, and people who love country music, get on board with this one and stand with us. Jack?
Yeah. Well, I want to say a special shout out to, of course, my friends and family that go all the way back to Columbia, Tennessee, and
Woohoo!
Nancy and Shannon and all the
What's
wonderful
up,
folks,
Nancy?
but cowboying, it's great to be another cowboy, and I think about old Hoppy, Hopalong Cassidy.
Ooh, you went way back, didn't you?
That's
You
my
went
hero.
way back.
William Boyd, he'd been known as a Cecil B. DeMille silent movie star, and then he was known as a drunk and somebody who really messed up a lot, and married a bunch of times, and So anyway, they gave him that one last chance. Going to play Hop Along Cassidy. Of course, you know what happened after
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Then they asked Robert Mitchum, whatever happened to William Boyd? He said, well, he died of rich. Because he got so rich when he took all those films and put them on television, early part, he just became a multimillionaire and all that. But, you know, they asked him in Life magazine, they said, now, you know, you had this reputation way back when you were younger. And said, now you're the idol of American youth, which all of us cowboys and cowgirls need to be. And they asked him, well, how did that happen? He said, well, he said, I'll tell you. He said, when you got millions of boys and girls and they think you're a good guy, you start acting like a good guy. And he said, the amazing thing is after a few years, you will be a good guy. And, you know, I think that's what we've got to do with this I Stand With the Country deal. I think we've got to, if it's not natural to us, we need to start acting better. And one day it won't be an act. With God's grace and mercy, it'll be something natural and something beautiful. And so we ask you to aspire to that.
Aspire to that.
Aspire to that.
Yes.
And be encouraged.
Yes.
Encouraged.
Be
God